Under the peaceful and gentle sky of a sunlit afternoon, hello to you. Those who have paused for a moment amidst the fast flow of life to seek something deep and meaningful. Welcome to KA Radio, where we share, step into the world of knowledge, great books, and stories that have the power to heal the soul and nourish the mind. Today, I would like to introduce to you a book that is often referred to as a treasure trove of thought. From the art of investing to human psychology, multidimensional thinking, and the circle of competence. It is a collection of philosophies that span a life full of experiences from a great investor, someone whom Warren Buffett, the legendary icon of investing, holds in the highest regard. That person is Charlie Munger. There is a lovely and interesting story. Whenever the annual shareholder meeting ends, Buffett always turns to ask Munger for his opinion, and the simple, familiar response is, "I have nothing to add." But once, when Munger couldn't attend, Buffett brought along his photo and a tape recorder to play that phrase over and over again. A simple statement, but one that symbolizes trust, friendship, and the deep faith between them. Buffett once confessed that it was Munger who helped him evolve from an orangutan into a man. A humorous metaphor, yet full of sincerity and gratitude. Charlie Munger is not only an outstanding investor, but also a living testament to resilience and extraordinary willpower. His life is a journey of overcoming harsh challenges, from difficult years to building his own wealth and finding true happiness. He has taught us that life is always filled with turbulence, but it is the way we think and face adversity that will determine whether we can steer the boat of life to the shores of freedom. The book today is not just valuable advice, but also the essence of a lifetime of wisdom. The speeches, conversations, and simple yet profound anecdotes over more than 20 years from Charlie Munger will help us broaden our horizons, open our minds, and most importantly, learn how to live a happier, fuller, and more meaningful life. Whether you are an investor, an entrepreneur, or simply someone who constantly strives to improve themselves, this book will surely be an indispensable companion. For in every word, every philosophy of his, you will find things that make you stop, reflect, and smile with happiness. And now, I invite you to immerse yourself in the insights from the book, The Almanac of Charlie Munger, a 99-year-old man with a wise, humble heart, full of determination. Let his story guide you, and let his words be like a refreshing stream that nourishes our souls. I wish you truly relaxing and meaningful moments. 3 living wisdoms from investment master Charlie Munger. Under the vast sky of knowledge, there are individuals with sharp minds, but hearts filled with humility and tranquility. Charlie Munger is one of them, a master investor, a silent companion to Warren Buffett, and a model of profound living wisdom. Through his life and teachings, we can learn 3 important lessons to walk the path of happiness and success with firm steps. 1. Contentment of the heart, a new step of determination. The ancients once said, "Knowing enough is happiness." For Charlie Munger, the purpose of life is not to accumulate endless wealth, but to find complete joy in the journey he has chosen. He does not chase money fervently, nor does he let his mind be disturbed by comparisons and envy toward others. Charlie Munger once shared that in order to maintain contentment while moving forward, we must learn to let go of envy. Envy is a meaningless emotion that blinds us and causes us to lose our way. When we see others making money faster or succeeding more easily, our hearts stir. But sometimes this very wave can pull us into the abyss of destruction. Remember, when standing on one peak, there will always be a higher one ahead. The destination of happiness does not lie in comparison, but in being content with what we have, staying focused, and being determined on our own path. Munger also points out that in the volatile world of investing, only when the mind is calm can we clearly see the path to take. While many investors follow the crowd's trends, Munger quietly focuses on what he understands best. Sometimes, being at peace amidst the rush of life is the greatest strength to help you steer your boat to solid shores. Number 2, going against the wind, independent thinking among the crowd. Charlie Munger always believed that following the crowd is the shortest path to failure. He tells the story of an advertising company that once dominated the market, but because it followed the real estate investment trend, it eventually fell into crisis. The market is sometimes like a strong wind. sweeping away everything in its path. If everyone rushes for the same sweet spot, there will certainly be someone leaving empty-handed. Independent thinking does not mean always going against the flow, but rather courageously walking your own path and staying true to your own judgment. When Warren Buffett focused solely on low-priced stocks, Munger bravely proposed investing in large companies with strong growth potential. It was this independent and courageous choice that helped them achieve extraordinary success. There are times when going against the wind will make you feel lonely, but Munger advises, don't worry about the opinions of others. As long as you understand what you're doing and believe in it, that's enough. Independent thinking will be like a light guiding the way, helping you avoid the chaos and leading you to more sustainable values. 3. Knowing enough, living simply and happily. In a world where many people chase after luxury and consumption to assert themselves, Charlie Munger chose a humble and simple lifestyle. He believes that no matter how big the house is, you only sleep on a small bed. No matter how wealthy you are, you only need 3 meals a day. Munger opposes borrowing money or spending extravagantly. For him, financial security is not about making a lot of money, but spending less than what you earn. Knowing enough does not mean stopping, but living with moderation, understanding the value of every penny you earn. This not only helps us accumulate wealth, but also keeps our minds at peace and happy. Munger also teaches that when you are satisfied with the present, it acts as a shield protecting you from temptation. But at the same time, the desire to learn and improve your knowledge is the sharp spear that propels you forward, exploring new horizons. Keep learning, keep improving yourself, but never forget to enjoy what you have and are experiencing. Life is a long journey with many crossroads. Charlie Munger's living wisdom not only teaches us how to invest, but also serves as a guide to live a happier, more stable, and profound life. When the heart knows contentment, your steps will be peaceful and steady. Remember that the ultimate destination of success does not lie in numbers, but in the peace and happiness of the soul. Never stop learning. There is something magical about learning. It is not limited by age, time, or circumstances. I will always remember my classmate when I was studying abroad, an elderly Japanese woman over 70 years old. Every time I spoke with her, I felt an indescribable warmth, as if witnessing a pure stream of the spirit of learning. Not just her, I also met many other elderly people at the library, with silver hair, but their eyes still sparkled with joy as they sat in a quiet corner, taking notes and contemplating each page of a book. They chose physical books over technology, believing in writing down what they had learned, as if each stroke of the pen was a thread that anchored their memory and passion for life. When reading about Charlie Munger, I also imagine an elderly man close to 100, still fascinated by his book, with bright eyes behind thick glasses. Munger once said, "There is no intelligent person I have met who does not read books every day." For him, reading books is like having 3 meals a day, quietly done but indispensable. The knowledge from the pages silently transforms into nourishment that nurtures the soul and broadens perspectives. What is special is that the books he reads are not limited to one field. He reads about economics, law, psychology, history, science, and even sociology. Munger follows a concept called universal wisdom, a type of wisdom that is both wise and comprehensive, helping one to view problems from many different angles. He once said, "If you only have a hammer in your hand, everything you see looks like a nail." This means that when we only have one tool or a single way of thinking, we are easily trapped in the bias of narrow-mindedness. To avoid this, Munger has spent his life learning, expanding his thinking model, and combining 80 to 90 different thinking methods. For him, the world does not exist independently. Everything, from history, biology, psychology, to economics or engineering, is interconnected. A wise decision must be viewed from multiple perspectives, looked at with a multidimensional mindset. This is like every time we turn a new page in a book, we find a delicate piece of the puzzle in the vast picture of life. In the end, learning is how we nurture an ageless soul. And just like the elderly people I have met, or like Charlie Munger himself, life will always be fresh and rich when we maintain an unwavering spirit of continuous learning. We may not possess all the wisdom in the world, but we can live each day with a heart eager to learn and bright eyes, looking at the world with curiosity and appreciation. So, read, learn, because every quiet page of a book, every small piece of knowledge, can bring us a broader life, a deeper intellect, and a fuller happiness. Evolutionary thinking and the power of combination. The theory of evolution, which seems to be tied only to biology, actually has a profound connection to how businesses operate today. Throughout the long flow of human history, progress has never come from a single architect's hand or a perfect top-down plan. Instead, it is the persistent competition from the bottom up, where individuals continuously strive, improve, and adapt to become better. This is also true for businesses. Excellence does not come from massive investments or coercion, but from the dedicated work ethic of each individual worker, from the process of cultivating, developing, and continually enhancing competitive capabilities. In a lecture at Harvard University in 1995, Charlie Munger introduced the concept of the compound effect, a wonderful law of resonance and amplification. Imagine when many factors, many different ways of thinking, are connected and layered upon one another. The result will far exceed the sum of its individual parts. 1 + 1 + 1 does not just equal 3, but much more than that. When you accumulate enough perspectives and mental models from various fields, their combined power will take you to a new height, where you can see the truth of a problem in a deep, sharp, and holistic way that is almost unimaginable. A good investor or business person does not necessarily have to master hundreds of mental models, but at the very least, they need to be well-versed in a few key areas, such as mathematics, accounting, psychology, microeconomics, or the circle of influence thinking. These fundamental understandings are like small doors opening to a vast world, helping you assess risks, analyze markets, and make smarter, more objective decisions. Charlie Munger once studied law at Harvard, one of the most prestigious universities. But he found that even there, many professors taught solely from textbooks without conveying the true essence behind the laws. In his view, this image was no different from that of horses pulling carts with blinders on, only able to see a small part of the road ahead. Therefore, he believed that degrees, no matter how valuable, are merely proof of one's ability to learn at a specific point in time. What is far more important is the spirit of self-learning, the unceasing desire to explore, and the will to renew oneself every day. Munger never allowed himself to be trapped in outdated thinking. Every year, he reevaluated his mental models, eliminating those that no longer applied and updating his perspectives with new ones. This philosophy of life has inspired me deeply. To live is to learn is to change, and to change is how we approach the best version of ourselves. When reading about Charlie Munger, I also began to expand my reading habits. No longer limited to familiar genres, I explored different fields, from economics, psychology, and philosophy to science and history. I believe that each book is a piece of knowledge, and each page quietly builds a multidimensional mental model within me. This is not only a way to solve life's problems, but also a path for my soul to become richer, more resilient, and happier. I hope that you will also find joy in learning and exploring. Take your time to accumulate knowledge, nurture an open mind, and continuously renew yourself. For when we learn to view life from different perspectives, we will see that the world is vast, marvelous, and filled with opportunities for growth. Reverse thinking, finding answers in the paradoxes of life. Charlie Munger once said something very simple yet profound. There are difficult problems in life, and you have to think backwards to find the answer. One time, while walking, he met a farmer. The farmer humorously said, "If I knew where I was going to die, I would never go there." At first, it seemed like a joke, but upon further reflection, Charlie Munger realized that this was the key to solving many difficult problems in life. If we know how to fall into suffering, we can also find the way to live happily. If we understand the reasons that lead us to poverty, the opposite will guide us to wealth and prosperity. In life, there are countless invisible traps. Alcoholism, drug addiction, laziness, procrastination, indulging in excessive desires, or working irresponsibly and superficially, all are the quickest paths to pain and failure. But if we think in reverse, we will see more clearly what needs to be done. Live with discipline, take care of our health, work responsibly, and know how to place long-term benefits above short-term desires. Reverse thinking applies not only in personal life, but also serves as a compass in work. When joining a company, instead of asking, "What can I do to help the company?" you should ask yourself, "What could cause the greatest harm to the company, and what can I do to prevent it?" Thinking about difficulties and risks first may sound pessimistic, but this way of thinking helps us avoid disastrous mistakes. Charlie Munger believes that avoiding foolish decisions is much easier than trying to be really smart. A simple lesson that anyone can apply. This philosophy reminds me of the negative visualization idea in Stoicism. Even when things are going well, Stoics train their minds by imagining difficult situations in advance. As the philosopher Seneca once reminded us, "Fortune attacks the unprepared, but the one who is always on guard will find it easier to defend themselves." Thinking about the worst is not meant to cause fear, but to prepare a strong mind, ready to face all of life's storms. Learning the reverse thinking of Charlie Munger and the steel spirit of Stoic philosophers has helped me better understand how to cultivate intelligence and resilience. When facing a difficult problem, sometimes, instead of diving headfirst into finding a solution within the maze of complex thoughts, try stepping back a little and thinking in the opposite direction. The answer often appears in that stillness, like a light slipping through the cracks of darkness, guiding us to a broader place. In the end, reverse thinking not only helps us overcome difficulties, but also serves as a way to live more fully, more intelligently. Only by facing the paradox head-on can we grasp the truth, and from there, the path to happiness, success, and peace will become clearer than ever before. The circle of competence, happiness in doing what you understand and love. In Charlie Munger's investment philosophy, there is a concept that is very simple yet profound: the circle of competence. Do what you can. His life and career are a clear testament to this lesson. Success comes when we understand ourselves, know where we excel, and know when to stop. Munger once divided everything into 3 groups: things that can be invested in, things that can be understood but should not be invested in, and things that are completely incomprehensible. To an outsider, the high-tech field may seem attractive and full of promise, but for Munger, it lies outside the circle of competence. He chose not to participate, not because he feared the risk, but because he understood that ignorance and lack of understanding are the greatest enemies in investing. Even if the whole world is enthusiastic about a certain field, if one does not have sufficient knowledge, investing in it is merely a risky adventure. This story made me realize something simple, yet very important. Doing what you can is not a sign of weakness, but a manifestation of wisdom. Human ability, after all, is limited. Knowing the extent of your abilities, not wasting time, money, and energy on uncertain things. This is the key to success and peace of mind. Unfortunately, in the pursuit of achievement, many people overestimate their abilities and rush into everything with eagerness and haste. However, the circle of competence is not a rigid and fixed boundary. Munger does not advise us to stay in the comfort zone forever. He believes in continuously learning and expanding knowledge. Reading books, observing, reflecting, and constantly improving oneself are the ways in which he quietly expanded his circle of competence over the years. Today, you may only understand a small part of the world, but if you persist in nurturing it, tomorrow that circle will grow bigger, deeper, and stronger. Munger also emphasized that once within your circle of competence, you should patiently wait for the golden opportunity to make wise and decisive decisions. This is not passivity, but the art of understanding the rhythm of life and your own. How calm and happy it is when we do what we understand clearly, with confidence and love. Life, therefore, becomes less hurried, less pressured by the pursuit of things that do not belong to us. Expanding competence is not to compete, but to live a full life, both wise and peaceful. And in every step of that journey, we learn how to respect ourselves, appreciate life, and trust in the simplest but most enduring things, defining the margin of safety and having the patience to seize the golden moment. Life is sometimes like a challenging chess game, where each move requires careful consideration and a heart that knows patience. In investing, this is even more evident. Charlie Munger left behind a profound lesson. Don't rush. Be patient in defining the margin of safety and only make a decisive move when the golden moment truly arises. Many investors often get caught up in the cycle of buying low, selling high, or chasing the small fluctuations of the market. They rejoice when stocks rise a little and immediately sell, as if that is their only goal. Others place too much faith in news or policies, forgetting that the essence of investing must be linked to the true value of a company. For Munger, investing is not a short-term race. It is a long journey where you need to look deep into the core value of a company, not just the current stock price. He reminds us that buying shares of a great company at a reasonable price will always be safer than buying super cheap shares of an average company. True value, when assessed correctly, will be the anchor that keeps you steady through all the storms. Munger also has a meaningful metaphor about the 20-slot punch card. In each person's investment life, we don't have unlimited opportunities. Each hole on the card represents a major decision, and there are only 20 punches in a lifetime. Therefore, he advises us to be very careful and patient in choosing the most valuable opportunities. And when the golden moment arrives, you must be decisive and brave enough to bet with all your trust and understanding. In Munger's entire investment life, he believes that just 3 to 4 correct decisions can change everything. Each of these decisions may take decades to bear fruit, but the rewards are immense. This is the lesson of extreme patience and high determination, two seemingly opposite factors that merge in the art of his investing. There are beautiful things in life that only come to those who know how to wait. Like a gardener tending to young plants, they do not impatiently demand fruit immediately, but instead invest their whole heart in nurturing, trusting, and persevering. Then one day, when the golden sun shines down, the plant blossoms and bears fruit, and the reward becomes sweeter than ever. Investment and life itself are like that. Set for yourself a margin of safety. Nurture patience, and when the opportunity truly ripens, move forward with confidence. This is not just an investment philosophy, but also a way of life, a peaceful belief that the golden moment will come for those who are truly deserving. The psychology of misjudgment and the lesson of calmness. Each person's life is sometimes a long dialogue with oneself. In both investing and everyday life, there are psychological tendencies that make it easy to go astray, make mistakes, and lose clarity. Charlie Munger, a person with deep wisdom and a simple lifestyle, has pointed out these distortions to remind us always to maintain alertness and calmness in each decision. One of the most common psychological tendencies is to distort the truth. When facing difficulties or failure, people often tend to deny reality to comfort themselves. We twist the objective circumstances, finding all sorts of excuses to avoid the painful feelings. For example, when we study hard but still fail to achieve the desired results, we often tell ourselves that this field is not for me. But in reality, it is just a veneer to cover up the disappointment and frustration inside. The second tendency is bias in personal viewpoints. We often easily like people who are similar to ourselves and find it hard to accept opposing opinions. As a result, we tend to ignore sincere advice from others, or worse, lose valuable relationships. Additionally, self-esteem can easily become distorted when we overestimate ourselves. A small success can lead us to believe that we are invincible. However, it is this complacency that makes us stumble at the next steps. There is another interesting thing about human psychology, the misjudgment of easily achievable things. When we grasp a part of knowledge or achievement quickly, we often delude ourselves into thinking we have mastered the most important part. But life always likes to challenge us with the hardest things, with the parts we have not prepared for. When we fail, we tend to blame fate instead of accepting our own shortcomings. Unlike Warren Buffett, who always shines under the spotlight, Charlie Munger chose a quiet and serene life, a wise man who hides amidst the hustle and bustle of life. His philosophy is not only a lesson in investing, but also a way of life worth contemplating. Ultimately, the goal of life is not to make as much money as possible, but to avoid failure, maintain peace, and achieve lasting happiness. To accomplish this, Munger advises us to develop a sustainable value system, to have a passion for learning, to live with tolerance, calmness, and wisdom. Continuously expanding our knowledge and cultivating multidimensional thinking will help us face every challenge with greater understanding and steadiness. This is the universal wisdom he refers to, a wisdom that not only helps us succeed in investing, but also broadens our perspective, connects all areas of life, and ultimately leads to self-improvement. Munger once said that this wisdom is not easily attained. It requires perseverance, calmness, and a heart humble enough to learn for a lifetime. His ideas, like the balance in Confucius' philosophy, represent a balance between integrity and flexibility, between gentleness and decisiveness. But then how many of us can persist in walking that path? Life is a long journey, and only those who know how to walk slowly, reflect, and cultivate themselves in stillness can truly reach its deepest meaning. If we can avoid fleeting temptations, listen to ourselves, and dedicate ourselves to helping others, we will not only become good investors, but also lead a life filled with character and a beautiful soul. I hope that, whether in investing or in life, you will also be patient, clear-headed, and keep the enduring spirit like Charlie Munger. Thank you for listening, and always cherish each step on this meaningful journey of personal development. If you find these insights helpful, please give it a like and share it with those who may need it. Follow and turn on notifications to never miss the latest videos from KA Radio.